different mood today. Um, I went yesterday, got a storage facility. The challenge now is going to be loading it when the books arrive. I've got a couple of possible friends that are going to come over and help me with this because it is going to be a big project getting them all in there. And then I'll be loading my truck up and taking a ton of them back to my house so I can take them to the book signing. And I'm going to then I'll be getting started mailing. I've got as I said before, I've got the laser printer sitting right next to me here, and it's all ready to start printing labels. I'm going to do that when the books arrive because I'm going to be billed for all of the postage. So, I don't want to give the money away earlier than I have to. But so things are chugging along. I worked on a song this morning to play today. Thumb's still bad, but I did a bunch of playing last night. I ran a bunch of Phil Collins tunes and stuff just to see how my chops were, and everything was fine. Thumb's sore, but it's not that bad. So I had a song I was going to do today that was going to be a very, very different mood and story than yesterday was with Chiromana. But then just before logging in here, Ciro wrote to me. He was thrilled that I put him on the channel yesterday, and he sent me the album that we did so I could download it. And I was just listening to it, and I thought I would just share a couple more songs from that because it was such a fun project to do. I mean, just to be in the studio with somebody as strong as Ciro and Simon Phillips. Simon, I so loved being on tour with him, with Toto. And we've done several other projects since then. We did a thing, I think it ended up being called Inside the Rock Vault, something like that. But John Payne from Asia, it was a project that he had put together, and it was a show for Vegas. And we went in and we cut about 30 some songs, doing covers of everything from The Who to Bowie, Kiss. I mean, it was amazing. We worked, like about 5 days and cut about 34 songs or something. And it was kind of real sound-alike stuff, really going for it. Getting to play the bass solo in My Generation was great. Loved that. And at some point, maybe I'll play some of those. These are real basic tracks with guide vocals. But I don't have his name in front of me, but the guy who came in and did the guide vocals ended up doing the show because he was so good. Like we were doing AC/DC, and he totally nailed Back in Black. I mean, it's really ridiculous. And he came in cold on this stuff and just had it. So I'll do that at some point. But and today I'm going to go over and see Cliff Jones at LA Vintage Gear, and because we're going to be doing a book signing there, my first and maybe only, I don't know, book signing. And so I told Cliff I've got one copy of it. I'm going to go over today and show him what he's gotten himself into. But we're doing that on December 7th at LA Vintage Gear in Burbank. Sorry, I just made myself a little sandwich of avocado and egg, and it's hanging around. I don't know. I think my eyes are crossed. That's why I put the shades on. But and plus it's a rock and roll day because I'm going to do more Chiromana for you. So let's see. So I'm going to go over and see him, and I'm just sorting out a whole bunch of little things. And then tomorrow I'm doing a video Zoom with Mr. Bonsai for the upcoming virtual NAMM Tech event. And I'm going to be talking about my instruments and what's been going on and music. I love Mr. Bonsai. He's such a great interview and a great hang. I've known him for a long, long time. So I'm looking forward to that tomorrow. And then tomorrow's the live stream for the Clubhouse members at 3 p.m. Pacific time. And I already wrote to Aaron, and we're ready to go for it. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody there and answering your questions and going over a bunch of stuff. One thing I wanted to say is, some people still question about the book, about all these pictures of people just going, giving the finger in it. The finger is really almost an incidental thing to me when I'm looking at these pictures. There's a finite amount of ways one gives the finger. I remember when I've got Jack Black is in the book, and Jack said, "You want balls or no balls?" I mean, it's like that kind of stuff, and some people do this, and definitely, okay, finite fingers, infinite facial expressions, and I think the thing I find most intriguing about this entire project was just looking at people's faces when you open up a door and say, "Flip me off," and then they, "What? What do you mean?" And then when you empower them at that point, and they go, "How should I do it?" I go, "It's your moment." And the breadth of humanity in these pictures is really hysterical to me, because it goes from the absolute, totally embarrassed kind of stuff to like, yeah, like totally in your face. It's really fun. It's one of these things. I took it over yesterday. I had to have some work done on my phone was acting up. And I think I got hacked. And so I went over to see Steve Wiley, who's at Dino Computers here in Pasadena. And Steve is my go-to guy for anything technical like this. He's brilliant. He's a sweetheart of a guy. And something I would labor over all day, he would just go, "Oh, no, just do that, and then it's done." So and he's in the book. So I took the book over and showed him, and he just sat there laughing and smiling. And that's the response that I'm looking for, is when people kind of sit and start looking at this thing, they'll just kind of get it at that point. So so there's a bunch of stuff going on, and getting ready. We should have the T-shirts and the artwork up real soon on the website, on the LelandSclarsBeard.com. And there's still like tote bags and mugs and T-shirts and hoodies and pictures in the Clubhouse store. So, I've got this little cottage industry going here. My cottage is kind of like a hobbit house, I think. It's like that. But so lots of little things to be doing and taking care of. But I'm glad I got the warehouse thing sorted out. And I looked at 3 places, and the one I chose was indoors, because I don't want to have anything out in the elements. The security here is incredibly high, where some of these other places, once you're in the property, somebody could knock off a padlock real easy, even though I think if somebody broke into mine, they would just kind of go, "What the hell is this?" Stacks and stacks and stacks of pallets of books, as compared to computers and bicycles and jet skis and the kind of stuff people really want to go for. But so that's that. But let's play music. This stuff really turned out so good. So this is Chiromana's album, XY, and we did this a few years ago at Simon Phillips' studio. Simon set up all the engineering, and then his assistant recorded it while Simon was playing. But Simon is a really great engineer, and it was really, really so much fun to be in his room. It's no longer there. I think I think he ended up closing the place down and moving all the gear to his house for a home studio, and then his home was ravaged in the fires in California a couple of years ago. So it's really heartbreaking. So much was lost during that period, and one of the worst that I knew was Lee Ritenour. His place burned. It was a magnificent house in Malibu with everything of his that in music, all his instruments, his studio, his history. It's just boy, fire is so unforgiving. But so let's have some music. This is the three of us. I don't know, what else was done on these. He just sent them to me. I'm going to listen to them for the first time. I'm just going to grab the first 3 things on here. And they're entitled X1, X2, and X3. So that's the beauty of instrumental music, I guess. It sounds like an old 50s science fiction movie, like Rocket Ship X1, off to a really cheesy graphic going to Mars or something. So, but the music is good. So let's visit here. So this is Chiromana X1. Got all these like in 2 takes, 1 take. Chiromana X1. Okay, let's check out X2. I hardly ever get calls to play. Hold on. I don't get calls that often to play this kind of stuff, and man, when I get the call, I'm so happy. I'm just digging it. I'm going to dig up, I think, maybe some Mari Hamada done stuff. The stuff we do is so good with her. She's a great Japanese artist, and it's usually me and Greg Bissonette and like Mike Landau on her stuff, and it's like, and she's getting ready to do a new album, so we're waiting for her to finish songs, and but I'll dig into her later. But this is Chiromana X2, X2 Brute. So here we go. Sounds like he was playing with another guitarist on that one. That's very cool. Trading back is a different, definitely different tonalities and different technique on that. Because I know on the album that wouldn't have been Paul Gilbert, because Paul just has a whole other sound. But Paul played with Chiro on one of the songs on the record, I believe. One, maybe might have played on two, and then he also went back to his home in Italy and played with his band and some other musicians in Italy and had them, other guitar players playing on it. So that's great. I mean, I'm just digging this because I'm just suddenly transported back to Sai's studio and when we did this. And literally once we dialed in the chart, since he came with, no music, just sat and played guitar, and I was like sketching chart like crazy, trying to figure this stuff out and the time signatures and and where all the pushes were. Once we actually got the song down, then I think we got them, all the ones we did, like within a take or two. And I love working with artists from other countries because their spin on things, even when it's just straight ahead rock, they've just got a different way of thinking. I just got contacted today by another Italian guitarist about doing some stuff on his album, and I would work with artists like Vasco Rossi, a whole bunch of different Italian and German artists, and certainly French artists, primarily with Veronique Sanson for many years. But so I'm going to do one last song here. This is X3. So let's see what this one's, because I'm hearing these for the first time myself. So. Back. That's 3. Chiromana, Ciro is his first name, Ciromanna. I just, at the last NAMM show, I saw him, and it was great because I hadn't seen him since we did the album. And so it's great to be walking down an aisle and saying, oh man, it's like old home week. All of a sudden, this is just too weird with the shades on. I was trying to be a little rock and roll there, but oh, there you are. I can see you now. So it was great to see him. Maybe one day we'll get to do some more work together. We'll see. But yeah, I love playing with Cy. Like I said, man, his pocket's just deep. He just lays it down. But he's got all the chops in the world. I remember when he would take his drum solo with Toto, and Lukather and Phil Gaines and I would gather at the keyboard because we had a line that we had to play throughout, an odd signature time line that we played through his solo, and we just stared at each other and would all go, 1, 1, trying not to lose it because, man, if we lost it, it was hopeless because Simon could really twist time like nobody's business. It was amazing. So, okay, well, I'm going to let everybody run off and do what they're going to do. I think tomorrow I'll do the complete antithesis of this because I was thinking about it this morning, and then suddenly, I got the email from Ciro saying, "Oh, here, thanks for putting me up yesterday, and here's a link to the album." So I downloaded the album and thought, well, hell, I'm just going to visit a couple more songs with him. So that's that. Have a great day. It's a beautiful day here. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I keep thinking, Christ, I'm turning into kind of a weird old creepy Mr. Rogers. It's so weird. But I also love it. I love it. And if you ever get a chance to see the documentary about Mr. Rogers, not the Tom Hanks kind of biopic, but the actual real documentary about Mr. Rogers, a fascinating man. So have a great day. Thank you, everybody who's doing what they can for us every day out there. I'm going to check in with my niece and see how they're doing because my niece and her husband are both teachers. And I'm going to check in, see how they're doing, how their kids are doing with homeschooling and how they're doing with their curriculum, teaching from home up in the Bellingham area. And just be safe. Be safe. When you go out, wear a mask. It's so little to ask with possibly such a huge advantage at the other end of this. And we really need to wrap our heads around this because nothing's going to get better in this country until we get this disease behind us. These reports about Pfizer and different companies, they're really encouraging, but that's still a long ways off, and there's immediate things we can do to keep ourselves safe. So practice safety, practice just for everybody around you, even if you're not that concerned or you think it's all nonsense, just why not err on the side of caution? It's not that much to ask in the overall scheme of things, but God knows we want our world back. And it's not going to come back until this pandemic is over with. So take good care. And Christ, I just looked and it's 30 minutes. I was going to do a real quickie for you here today. So sorry. I'll talk to you later. Bye.